Hello everybody. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. We finally did the autopsy report on the corpse in the last stream, and I have elected to let him rot in the street rather than send him off to be bagged and tagged right away because I want to try and get me them damn boots. So, in the midst of trying to find a fridge to stuff the corpse in, we've been asking around town as well about other things, and found our way into an apartment building, chasing a guy who was out on his balcony having a smoke who could see the whole courtyard, to see if we can find out anything else from him about the murder, all while the corpse rots in the field. Anyway, let's continue on and explore this apartment building a little bit, and then if it pans out, cool. If it doesn't, oh well. Also, it's 8 o'clock, so, apparently things start shutting down around 9. So let's see what starts happening after that. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. This box is filled with cleaning chemicals and smells of laundry detergent. What is that? Flip up glasses, the auditor. These flip-on sunglasses were fashionable in the old, but have since lost their popularity. Their thin gold alloy wire frames are a reminder of drug-addled bohemian artists. These days, the glasses are only favored by organized crime accountants who desire to look cool. +1 to logic for balance in the books. -1 for authority. Filthy boho, probably a narcomaniac. That's a bit of a trade-off. But you know what? I wouldn't mind getting, offsetting that -1 to logic that... I thought I had a -1 to logic. Do I no longer have that? I do, somewhere. Oh, it's a -1 from my thoughts, so it would offset it, bring it back up to 4. And my authority goes down to 2. You know, right now I'm in the middle of an interrogation. I want my copish skills to be there. Old shoe rack, boots, sneakers, and old slippers. These shoes come in 3 different sizes. Whoa. Most crawls on those bathroom tiles. Oh, actual moss. Ooh. Commodore Red and magnesium. These shower curtains are covered in some sort of slime. Well, I found some wine. Wouldn't hurt to have a drink right now, would it? -1 to morale, +1 to physique. A large crimson bottle of cheap, sugary wine made of poverty, sugar, artificial taste enhancers, and a vague memory of grapes. That's great. Guaranteed to color your lips. Okay, maybe after we're done investigating here, let's try to be a bit sober. Apartment 12. Loud rumbling snore comes from within. This balcony access. Because he ran up. I also need to somehow find $30. Otherwise, Garth's not going to let me sleep in my room. So I need like 25 more bucks somehow. maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. Breaker boxes full of cigarette butts and electric wires. You hear distant traffic. Night is falling on the city. He went up the stairs, if I remember correctly. Someone's growing rosemary, thyme, and a cactus. 28. A door to be remembered. This is the door to apartment number 29. Complete silence. Whoever lives here isn't home. This is the door to apartment number 30. Voices from within, singing along to some buoyant dance track. So he would have had to have been in one of those then if he went up the stairs. So maybe I was wrong and he went in here? I didn't think he did. Ooh. It's just a door, nothing for you here right now. No idea. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. 677. On my way to 30. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the
That
wall.
isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words.
Go, Kim. There are commies around here. That's like 1950s, cop. Inspect the symbol closer.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is the star upside down? What's the deal with the antlers? Why white? What does it evoke in me? What's the deal with the antlers? Yeah. Communists aren't usually like, well, in our world, if you see antlers of some sort with a pentagram, usually it's Satanism, not communism, but...
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it, to symbolize the toppling of the old order.
Well, at least it's not a sign of distress.
Also, some social democrats were already using it.
Why white, though?
Because white is the color of peace.
Well, what does it evoke in me?
Nothing at all yet. Right now, it's just meaningless shapes on a wall.
Sure, I'll take 31 cents. I had a feeling I'd find some money coming in here. I was just hoping it would be a bit more than that.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise.
Oh, I have to back out. What are we doing here? Smoke around the balcony. Ask around for his apartment number.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11.
Interfacing. So I should actually Switch out my gloves as well. Min-max as much as I can. Nothing else here gives me interfacing? No.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
After you, detective.
Alright. What's in here? Flamboyant poster of a white star. Real lithography. So this was a communist's room. I guess that would be a bust of Mazov on the shelf there. Books of critical theory on the monstrosities of capital and such. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Revolutionaries love to pose with their guns.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged
right.
man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Mazov. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
Why does this tenant have a bust of Kraz Mazov in their bedroom? Because they're communist. Kim, you have to admit, this Kraz Mazov bears a striking resemblance to me.
Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov?
No, it's purely coincidental. I have to consider and investigate all possibilities. I'm not saying that I am Krasmazov. I'm just saying that we look alike. Yeah. I take it the lieutenant is trying to be sarcastic with me, so I will just be straightforward and snide with him.
Sure you are.
Just humor me for a moment. Don't you see your resemblance? You're right, this is silly. I'm no Krasmazov. Or am I?
Well, you both do seem to share an affinity for sideburns, but it seems like old Kras here didn't drink nearly as much as you.
How do you know? Bust probably is just a romanticized depiction anyway. It's a realist approach. Maybe this bust shows him before he started drinking. Yeah, I have a problem. A problem with alcohol. Nah. We already know this. But yeah, romanticized depictions.
Very well. Let's look for identifying features then. Doesn't he have a birthmark right here? What about you?
Can't tell. Can't see my face. Definitely don't have a birthmark on my left cheek.
Alright, but here's the big thing. Krasmazov looks Samaran, and you don't.
I'm part Samaran myself. You're right. There's something we definitely don't have in common. No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Look at his eyes. Wasn't his mother a Samaran immigrant?
I honestly don't know. I haven't read anything about Krasmazov in this world yet. Maybe I should have bought a book.
Good, so you're not him.
I might not look like him, but I know it. In my heart, Krasmazov. That's me. Yeah. I don't know how communist I want to be right now. Like, really, not sure if I've been playing this guy fairly communist. Personally, I'm more socialist. Yeah.
It's decided. You are not the most famous philosopher of the modern period.
Lieutenant nods, turning away to inspect the photo on the other wall. Sure, fine, I'll bite.
The white star,
Oh.
the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
Okay, well, it gave me experience for asking, so that's good. My shirt finally stopped smelling like I pissed in the armpits? Whoa. Didn't quite mean to do that. Just in case. Ooh, 1+1 to conceptualization. Versus, what's this? Because I know it's giving me -1 to suggestion. Oh, +1 to conceptualizing. So this is just, yeah, overall better. Classic white summer jacket. Loved both by Elysium Communist Party and the accompanying subtropical drug traffickers. Fits you well, regardless of your political ambitions. Wait, so is this a... Oh, it's an overcoat, not a shirt. Yeah, no, I prefer my disco ass blazer, simply on the merit that it is called the disco ass blazer.
Yes?
Wait. Don't want to talk to you. Sylvie's suicide jokes. Roy mentioned suicide. Logic +3. Door number 9 is locked. Postcard, Boogie Street 46. This crumpled up postcard depicts an open-air market on Boogie Street 5 years ago. A vendor smiles as dead roosters line his stalls. Hung by their feet from canopy, red blood flows into the muddy streets. Blurry shadows of people pass. It's worth $1.20.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
Alright, well, let's see who's in here.
The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
What? I don't think it was supposed to read that there. This time she steps closer. Who is this? Demands a female voice, very intense. This is the police. Open up.
Do I have to open the door?
Hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door, her tone now getting a defensive edge.
Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Oh no.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
We could have just asked her to talk to us through the door. Apartment 8, their mailbox is overflowing. Ooh. I swear, if I somehow fish out... Oh, okay. I just need 20 more real, and I'm good to stay in the Whirling in Rags for one more night. Graffito says, firing squad for the rich. Note reads, foreclosed by Martinez Realty Associate. Okay. So that's nothing. You.
Give me a moment.
Elderly woman is leaning on her broom, her knuckles white as bone. She seems to be having difficulty breathing.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
She sneezes into a dirty handkerchief. You all right? Should I call a doctor? This won't take long. I only have a few questions.
Go ahead then. What do you want to know, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
Looking for a young male in his mid-20s. Dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony.
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
She looks at the other end of the hallway.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble. Just want to talk to him. Do you know where he lives? Yeah, I'm not saying he's busted for murder. I'm not lying like that.
Talk?
Ooh. She really doesn't sound
What was
well.
so funny about that?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there.
She points
He's
east.
usually home in the evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
Thank you, old woman. What do we have here? Someone has torn down the wall. Waves crashing in the darkness. Yeah, I was pretty sure we passed apartment 28 up here already. Revachol is pronounced Revachol. Oranje is pronounced as Oranje. Klasje is pronounced Klasje. Yes, we get it. The J's are kind of Dutch.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the...
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening.
Looks around, taking in the cold spring air.
We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
What do you mean? We're here right now and it's almost 9 p.m.
The smoker on the balcony. This is why we are here, right? He might know something about the murder. So tomorrow 9 p.m.?
Suddenly, he's a little worried about your memory. Don't worry. It's mostly all still here. You can remember things. You got this.
That wasn't what I thought that was going to lead to. But yeah, fine. Sounds good. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him. Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
All right. Well, huge part of me really just wants to search the rest of this apartment complex and see about how much more money I can dig out of it, because, like, I think I grabbed, like, a good, decent, like, $4 or $5 out of here. Yeah, why not? Let's go up the balcony on this side, see what that does. We also still need to find a fridge. I think maybe I could speak to Kuno about finding a fridge for the corpse.
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbor, until it happened.
Form a guess about what happened.
A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline, fired from the water, a straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line.
Look at the ruins in the water.
Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now.
Huh.
Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt.
Huh. Who did this? It's damage.
A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels.
Huh.
They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well. Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol. The waves of the Martinez Inlet rolled over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscured the better part of the remains.
Does make for an interesting bit of history lesson into this world. See what having a good visual calculus gets you? Hey Kim, do you know who shelled our city?
The coalition. But that was a long time ago. I think we should move on. It's chilly up here.
Alright. Time to go. Who are you?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue d'Espérance. You wait and see.
Girl stares at sailboats by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Oh. We just want to know your name, little lady. No need to get defensive. Don't use that tone with me. I am the law. Start with your blood type and go from there. Hep. Yeah. When were you last tested? Doesn't endear people to me, but...
Sod off, pig man. Art is above the law.
Despite the sass, she puts the brush aside.
That smell coming from her paint bucket, it's not paint, it's heavy fuel oil.
Oh boy. Keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
She nods disdainfully towards the woman performing maintenance on the boat next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features.
Huh.
The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
Joyce Messier.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Revachol. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
That I can do, Kim. That I can do.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to her on.
Well, since we're here, do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
So you won't talk about the murder. Maybe you can tell us something about the murder victim's missing armor?
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Isn't armor art? Art for the, body?
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell.
Whoa, okay.
If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time.
She waves her hand in a general westward direction. And there's a little girl wearing the gloves there.
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you.
Because I know how to speak to your soul, Cindy the Skull.
I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
She looks at you a little sad
Or
suddenly.
a weakness for police officers, miss. Thank you either way.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it? Why are you so committed to defacing this building? So you don't know what to write? I think I'm gonna go with the yeah, we'll do that first. I'm not gonna do that. That one's boring, cop.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cabs. And my name's not Mona, so...
Well, I have an opinion on this. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah?
I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing. Gonna have to stop you. This is hooliganism. Actually, I don't have... Yeah, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing, but you're gonna have to answer me one last question.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite.
Just one last thing, though. Is that, heavy fuel oil?
Red dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
He says, studying the contents of Cindy's bucket.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
Fumes are bad for you, okay? You better hand it over. That's some clever cultural commentary. Fumes are bad for you.
Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage.
Well, we'll catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
So. Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. Oh! I knew it was a good idea to come up to this balcony. Door is locked and you can't get in. Chair is new. Someone lives back there. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy? 100 tiny feet scurry beneath the grate. The rats of the city. Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. Pants. Ha! Yoink! Ooh, I'm very close to another level, too. I think I might actually put that level into a thought, though. Start learning Aces High, because really, if I can sneak into the docks, I could honestly give a fuck about advanced race theory. I'm not interested in playing that side of the morally gray. That racist can take his theory and just shove it, as far as I'm concerned. Very rigid. Really doesn't like the race mixing. Alright. So we're done with that. So maybe we can just walk out the other side and we'll be able to talk to... Coming into this apartment building was very, very good idea. Should also check out these. +1 electrochemistry, godass. -1 reaction speed, hind-sighted. Although these genes look worn, the wearer must have had an ass given to them by the mighty Lord himself. That beautiful peach-shaped man-ass has imprinted itself so deep in this fabric. You can't wonder but if wearing them would start molding your own vague rear side into a more shapely form as well. Godass! What are my current pants giving me again? Oh, so I'd just be swapping the minus out from savoir-faire to reaction speed? Our reaction speed is 3, so bring that down to 2 and bring that back up to 3. I like having my reaction speed a bit more right now, actually. Signal blue naval coat. Inside is the frame of motorcycle in repair, and the tools used to disassemble it. Capeside Apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, roundabout north. Oh, so we're actually just right here. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Docking reserved for residents of Rue Saint-Ghislain 33A. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat. smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps close and holds out her hand over the railing. Joyce L? What does the L stand for? RCM? What is... No. What gave us away? Probably the reflective badges.
Clayton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized coat. What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Oh!
She meant it in jest.
Well, fine.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will.
Sure, you got a fridge?
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Wow! Kim actually respects me, it sounds like.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. This is a tactic.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
What? Why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What nice fabrics.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat. While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry. Wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible.
Yes, so?
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
I'm a goddamn working man. I'm not ashamed to shake this leech for some dough. As I should be, for even considering it. This is a woman and I am a man. Yes, I should make my own goddamn money now. What is this feeling? I've never felt it before. I'm not ashamed. You know what? Yeah, I should shake this leech for some dough. Rich corpo.
You think your little communism protects you from this feeling? No. The more demeaning it is to grovel at her feet.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
If I had more volition. You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead.
The boat?
Does she have a name?
No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word, it, feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps the side of the boat. Makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelacci, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about the X something? How about Sleek Fish? How about Dolores? You know what? That's my favorite. Dolores it is.
Why Dolores?
I just like the name for some reason.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
And what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19-pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
And how do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Caillou? I thought we were in Revachol. Still haven't seen anyone else steal a boat around here. Sail a boat around here. Okay.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Understood. Now about this
She
boat of
nods
yours.
attentively.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Alright, fine.
Good.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me the lowdown on this reality that we're in. Actually, yeah, what can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets? What is your role in this precisely?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it! How do I repeal it then? Wouldn't want to disturb an octopus. Better let it be.
Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the Coalition. Unfortunately for you, the Coalition also leases you the right to police West Revachol. But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
Yeah, what is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Jean-Luc? My race mentor? He's a great teacher, a man of virtue. I don't think he is, but that would fucking throw her off.
Oh, so you've met him. Has he beguiled you with his inane theories?
My colleague has his peculiarities. Let's not go into this particular one just yet.
Of course. To each their own.
How are the talks going before the
Let's
lynching?
say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
He looks at his notes. And we're in March now, I think, game-wise?
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay, then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
So what are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Over-aggressive commie posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business. Forget it. I wanted to ask something else about the strike. Or, I like it. So basically what they're saying is every worker gets a say in how the dock is run. See, this right there kind of, like, that's a very light kind of example of communism, but it does kind of poke at one of the problems of it. It's like, some people in, like, one part, overseeing one part of the dock shouldn't have any say over, like, a different side of the dock. And if they're all on the same board, and, like, things like that can get messy. Yeah, really, it just sounds like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board.
Most of them probably don't know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
It is pretty funny, I have to admit. The workers can't be kings. The king is king. King is dead. Long live the workers. Oh no, it's pretty funny, actually.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
It was finally after 9 p.m. too.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Scabs at the gate. Did you put them there? Tell me about this union boss, about this Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, It's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Evrart is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Sounds like you're about to take a rapier to him. Is he that bad? Can't be that bad.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
He can't be that bad.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of him?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Evrart does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Oh boy.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside of the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates before looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Evrart and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
An effective advocate for the rights of the local working man. A giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol. It's basically a socialist mob. I prefer not to have an opinion on these things. I am centrist, you see. No, I'm not a centrist. But yeah, if they're that corrupt, then they really are kind of a giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol.
Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers.
Scabs the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Well, that's all I need here. Let's
Of
change
course.
the topic.
How else can I help?
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality.
She pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation into the world I find myself in. I got so drunk, I literally forgot everything. No time to explain, just give me the lowdown. Actually, now's not a good time for a reality lowdown. Maybe later. No, now's fine.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that this inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately converge with our murder investigation. They are really one and the same.
Are they now?
Lieutenant cocks one eyebrow.
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
Charm men and women, play the puppet master. Intimidate the public, assert yourself. Might actually be good to, Sure, you know what? Let's put a bump into rhetoric. For now.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Ooh. Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm. What's in Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Well, tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
Well, you mentioned the sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities, vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this island again?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her, and to humanity at large.
Okay, and what's That's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
And what makes Revachol great?
History, detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, well, who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an unimportant place. So we're pretty much at the center of the world. So we're on the periphery. Basically nobodies.
Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
A sparkle of lights on the horizon, like evening stars above the curvature of the planet.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
So where are we?
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
She watches you closely as you scan the horizon.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Madame Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But won't I be lazy if I don't do it all now? But I want to know everything now. Yeah, you're right, Lieutenant. I'll continue later. It is getting late.
Better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
You know what? Sure, let's try and see if we can get this one now.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Esprit de corps needs to go up.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else I can do?
Yeah, sure. What can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves.
Oh boy.
I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57.
He hands her a piece of blue plastic.
And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Remember when my partner told you I recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life and the world.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Fuck.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
There's a red check. So, only got my one shot. Come on, let's do it.
Feelings
Fuck!
will guide the way.
But madam, I need to know about this lynching. It's very important to me. It's the case I'm solving.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
You don't understand. It's not like a side case for me. This is my main quest.
Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
You have so much else. I have only this. Spread your hands. This is the entirety of my existence.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
This boat, for example, and a home somewhat. I only have this case.
Officer,
The carbon hull fiber creaks. I don't remember anything except this lynching, and there is only this coast and this lynching. This case is what I will be known by.
you know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like what?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment, madam.
Wow, you work hard.
I do.
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
I guess I do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like a horse. A workhorse. For hard work.
What hard work do I do exactly?
Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride.
I'll fucking ride till I die, bitch.
That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you Do it, day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer.
I guess I've made some gills, sure.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich?
No, I'm actually not.
That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
There's a market for corrupt cops out there, but the immigrant cops have I stumped it. Fucking taxes, man. I don't know. Why am I so poor? It's because that Gart guy riding my ass.
The Gart man has set himself up one of those self-replicating money structures. You should learn from it. Don't play the victim. Think hustler. Think with your head. That's right. 100%.
Fucking taxes.
Fucking G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Aren't taxes almost non-existent in the Gotham estate that is Revachol?
Really? Every time I sneeze? I thought there were no taxes.
You and I both, but they got those indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax. This tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus, there's the stuff people in other countries pay for that makes them ask for more money from you here. The Gotham estate's a myth. In total, the coalition government is taking 98% of all your money.
No fucking way! I'm a free market fundamentalist now. Opt in. Are you sure? That seems like a pretty big number. This isn't helping me solve my money problems. It's only making me into a free market type. Opt out.
What are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street.
Well, if not being an ultra-liberal makes me a racist, then I guess I should be an ultra-liberal. That's weird, man. Fuck off with this right now.
Hey.
Ooh, me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Again?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Love has worked out really well for me. I'm a love winner. Yes, we should all stop building love.
This conversation isn't really about love. Try to keep up, okay? This is about the communism you've promised to build. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted. Is that true?
How come there's word on the
You
street?
keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Oh. I've said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those.
Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
First, what is this communism even about? Roll up your sleeves and start building communism. It's too tiring. I don't have it in me. I'm beat down and broken. Alright, what is this game's definition of communism?
Failure. It's about failure.
I don't do failure.
Of course you do. You are failure. You are communism.
Oh!
Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped, shat on, while everyone else is out partying, having a callous laugh. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade.
All right. I'm going to back off of this for now. I know it's kind of centrist, but I'm not ready to say I'm totally opting into this game's version of communism just yet.
Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. Did someone mention cocaine? Are we doing cocaine? No. I'm sure I heard someone say cocaine is...
Fucking electrochemistry.
Anyone? Anyone else? There's no one? There's no one. Okay then, lie down and let the water carry you downstream.
Goodbye, communism. Maybe I'll come back to you.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Really? Thought it was going so well. Oh, so we're her henchmen now?
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
So what do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Could just, find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Well, let's get back to them.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Why is my volition suddenly lower? Oh, from damage.
What would you like to know?
Oh.
Good. Of course,
+1 for suggestion. Aye, Captain. No, -1 half-light. Officerial poise. His classic double-breasted suit coat. If any suits everyone, including you. And if you ever find yourself battling winds at the helm of a ship, then the coat's heavy fabric's got your back, even if moths have left a few holes in it. No. Nothing that helps me with my volition.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
May as well.
Well,
Oh, shit!
doing it.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Why, yes, I am rich. How much money do you need? Hopefully not too much. I couldn't bring all of it with me.
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
Need 30 real.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
See, paper notes ranged like black gills.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch.
Well, that's good.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
I'm still getting my head around this whole money concept. You were just helping me out.
You're right, man, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
Well, at least we now have a place to stay, assuming Gart's still there since it's after 9.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
So let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
I'm going to need bolt cutters. Am I going to need bolt cutters for this?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable.
The apples guy.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Which gives you a knowing look.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
What proof do you have that the Union is involved? We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching. Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation. It's no coincidence that the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
And what proof do you have that the union's
How do
involved?
you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We will take this case, probe the drivers, and see what that yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who are the other Indo-tribes?
Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
8 billion?
That's it? I thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time. The money I owe is so much less than that. That's it? Thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time.
And to think, there are
we're
years
going
when the
with that.
group books losses in the billions.
Wave hits the sloop. She grasps the mainstay for balance.
Wild Pines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It is a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Probably helps to start with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed, or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world? It's quite the endeavor indeed. You don't keep it moving. The workers do. The company has nothing to do with them.
We built this district.
There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
She points behind you where the seawall rises.
Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol. Long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Well, last thing before we leave for the night. Do you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you do know something about the tattoos. Why? How was you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with. That's
Sure.
the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this.
She's not
I
budging
hope
on
there is
that.
something else I can help you with.
No, that's all for now. Find the armored gloves. Joyce's info on the lynching. There's something she wants to tell you. You just have to be present with her badge to hear it, or perhaps, if you did the favor, she could waive off the formality. Jam mystery. Interrogate the drivers about the smuggling. Keep asking Joyce questions about reality, or return later. She'll be here whenever you need the info. I think it's time to fill that one quest.
Well, hello. Someone seems to have found himself a bottle of alcohol. Here's where the magic happens.
Yes, it is.
Light reflects off the green glass of the Commodore Red. The gods have been generous. Better pop it open before they change their minds. Wow, the gods of mass production have made this alcohol container laughably easy to open. A child could have done it. There's a satisfying pop as the cork jumps out, and the hair on your back rises like an army at attention. You've been here before. Welcome back, detective. You're home now.
Yes, I am.
A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess. So does your mind. All the bad things are melting. You're you again. A real cop. A real detective. Incredibly well done.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's an alcohol button. Alcohol gives +1 to physique skills. Physical instrument, half light, electrochemistry, endurance, pain threshold, and shivers. This is good before rolling a white check, but damages your morale. And remember,
from the void we came, and to the void we must return.
This is true.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid the cafeteria manager for damages yet.
We should take care of that then.
I think I have the money now. This is the money, right?
I'll also take a room at the Whirling. One cannot get much closer to the crime scene.
Well, that went pretty well. I don't need to be holding on to that bottle any longer, I think. Jamais vu. Derealization. Revachol Special Administrative Region. Le Caillou, the Insulindian Ocean. Coalition Government. Insulindian Mission Command. Name after name, none of them familiar. They seem real, but something is wrong. You feel like a kid looking at stickers on a fridge. Trouvant, the Apricot Company. World Games 34. You can almost see your hand reaching for them. Scratch at the corners if they peel loose. This feels like the most important of all the thoughts. The one you must complete. Oh, I need to unlock more slots for that. 40 more experience for the next slot. Alright, we're back. It's all closed down. How's the body holding up?
The man is decomposing visibly now. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Alright, Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Kuno, I need a fridge to stash the body.
For the fuck him. Good thing you asked the Kunmeister. Kuno knows a fridge. Perfect for freezing.
Really? I don't believe it. I thought you would. Where the fuck is it?
Bacon Man's in a rush. But what's in it for the Kuno? What's the return on Kuno's investment?
Rhetoric, medium, convince the Kuno to spill the beans.
Kuno's a
Fuck!
poor kid from a poor neighborhood. Say your job is on the line. He'll sympathize.
Am I sure about this? That sounds sort of weak.
No, it's not weakness. It's sincere. Do not confuse sincerity with weakness.
Oh my god.
Trust me.
Kid, this is serious. I botched this role, and now I have to say that my job is on the line. So if I don't get this sorted, I might actually get fired.
The fuck are you doing right now? The fuck is this shit?
Don't pay attention to him. Just keep telling your sad story.
I've lost almost everything, Kuno. My memory, my money, even my name. I think my name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. I can't lose my job, too. Please, please help me.
It's not that dramatic. We can just send the body to processing.
Kuno's never seen anything so lame. Listen, pig, if you were Kuno, the fuck would you care?
This isn't working at all. You lied to me, Golden Mouth Man. You're right, Kuno. If I were Kuno, I probably wouldn't care. This isn't about me, Kuno. It's about the people I'm trying to help. It's too late for me anyway. If you don't tell me, I'll have to go ask other people. That will take too long. Body is decomposing. Nope. I'm going with this one.
You just haven't done it long enough. You need to do it even longer.
Oh,
The
shut up,
Golden
Rhetoric.
Man is a liar. He can't be trusted, sire. He only wants to humiliate you. No, it's the face blob who's trying to humiliate you. Why does he speak like that? Why can't he speak like a normal person?
But you see, Kuno wants for it to decompose. Kuno digs that cadaver shit.
Go fuck off and ask someone else. Kuno's not gonna snitch. He likes corpses.
Why don't we go pester some other kids now?
He says impatiently.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
As always. It's hilarious. Like, most of the high rolls I still fail when I have like a high percentage chance, but oh well. Let's go pay Gart.
Hello again, sweetie.
Can I help you?
It's about the money I owe you, Gart.
Yes. Have you got it?
I have your money.
Well?
Here's 30 real. Slams the bill down on the counter. I hope you choke on it.
Great. Perfect. I hope you enjoy your freezing cold room with the window you broke yourself. I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m. Starting tomorrow, please pay for each night in advance. 20 real per night. If you don't have the money, it's over for you. Got it? You've got nowhere else to stay.
Time stops advancing after 2 in the morning. If you haven't paid for your room by then, it's game over. Don't leave finding money to the last minute, however. It's harder to make cash after nightfall when the shops are closed and the streets empty.
I'll take a room here too.
He opens his wallet.
Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you? Yes, yes. For the dead body.
Correct him.
Yes, that's the gist of it. No.
You're lying. You're not putting a dead body into my fridge.
I'm not going to even ask why. You're just going to say something mean.
This is a culinary establishment, not a morgue. You don't have to ask me why you can't store a dead body in my kitchen.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you two...
Seems you are just going to have to keep looking around.
Okay. I need to get more thoughts being done. And we're gonna go with Jamais Vu. All right. What was that? Nothing on the front page rings bell. Strange.
You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it.
Am I a smoker?
Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer, the gnome of Jeroma? You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub, still smoldering deliciously. How very astute of you.
Filter.
This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that. A carton. Make sure they're all healthy and able-bodied. Then smoke them all.
The idea seems to make your neck expand. Suddenly, the garish tie feels very snug.
Like a cat rubbing itself against its owner's calves. A cat that wants you to smoke a lot.
I should enthusiastically do that.
Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now. But find cigarettes, smoke them, blam. Instantly a cool renegade man. A mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostrils. Plus, smoking them gives massive bonuses. This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night, Lieutenant.
We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
All right, let's go.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I think I might want to pick up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes?
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
How did you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
He flicks the ash.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit.
Huh.
Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit, below it all.
Right then, the debrief.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
We performed a thorough initial inspection of the victim's body, so that's good. One could say it's the main thing to do in a murder. Then you shot the body down, which was quite a shot.
Damn straight, I'm a sharpshooting cop. It was nothing really, just doing my job. I was inspired by your confidence in me, Kim. Can't wait to shoot more shit. I think I was born with a gun in my hands.
It enabled us to perform a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. I still feel like we're missing something, but we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great.
He's right. You could smell it. That something is missing, even under the overpowering odor of the corpse.
Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean.
That's my forte, unlike most cops. I understand how important communication is in our line of work. I love doing interviews. The people love me. They love bathing in my glory. The initial interviews? Yes, well, we talked to some people. I wish we didn't have talked to any of these interviews. I'm gonna go with 2.
I hope your confidence will translate into results, officer. We weren't able to find the union leader, Revachol, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We tried to interview the Wildlands rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
Oh no. I don't like to waste time, you know. My mind moves fast. The rest has to try and keep up. Training for a long distance run and I want to raise money for charity. Yeah, it's just how we roll in Precinct 41. I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Yeah, I like the first answer best.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
Ah! He nods thoughtfully, tapping his finger on his cigarette.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly. So, what are our powers exactly, the RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
1,000? Why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
Alright, well what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Wait, how can you be sure the arrestee will actually show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
And if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
So what if I kill someone while on duty?
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
And what happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
taps on his coat pocket where he keeps his notes. And who makes all these rules?
The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
His gaze is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Well, let's say it was the citizens of Revachol.
Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
The moral intern? What is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
I really don't know. That's how bad it is in here.
Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
Interesting. What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something ominous. Something even a little feminine. But in a strict manner. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
So who is Dolores Day, then?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
Well, what do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
I have an opinion on the moral intern.
Do you?
Things are bad out there, point to the city. We need them here, giving us the right to police Revachol. They've done an awful job here. Have you seen this place? This isn't humanism. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the bourgeois rights. Mutter silently. Immigrants, liberal kipts, fucking men are turning into women. That's a really gross answer. On second thought, I don't have an opinion. Forget about it. You know what? I think we're gonna go cop.
In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Actually, vigilantes is okay with me.
Then you will adore Martinez. For many of these people, the Union especially, vigilantes is precisely what we are. Personally, I don't enjoy it much.
Looks at the roundabout. Say nothing and just look into the night.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks.
And the Jamrock and the GRIH?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope our investigation will improve the situation here. Or at least do some good. Yeah. I guess that's the sentiment, even though we probably won't change anything here. You know, that is pretty true. But, whatever. Optimism, man.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
Yeah, I agree
He
with
is
that.
very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Well, thank you for this.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Puts the stub of his cigarette and looks to the door. See you in the morning. Bye. All right. The lieutenant is gone. Words fail to describe how rank it smells in here. Should have sent a poet.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Wow. Now that we have done that, it is time to take a small break. Since, the lieutenant smoking has made me want to smoke, and it's been a good while. We've actually accomplished quite a lot here. But now that the lieutenant's gone to bed, it's time to see if I can go get those boots off of that corpse. Fuck his legs. We can just bag him and tag him after the boots are off and I have them. Because really, in the end, the boots are what matters. But that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. But until then, thank you everyone who tuned in to catch some of this live. And until next time, y'all stay safe. You have a good night. And, always be excellent to each other as well. And I'll see y'all next time.